Hi, welcome to Paper Roots Scrapbooking. I'm Nadine, and today we're going to talk about using your stash. Particularly today, we're going to talk about using up that ribbon. Okay, so this is one of my favorite ways of using up large quantities of ribbon. I especially like to find a kind of a rainbow order that goes with whatever I'm working with and putting it into a large shape. So in this instance, I picked kind of a rainbow of colors because my kids are here at a candy shop. And so I cut a circle into my page, and then I backed it with ribbon, and I added this large die cut piece. Here's another example of how I did this. I cut a large Christmas tree into my page, and I backed it with a variety of different kinds of ribbon, but in this case they're all green to make a Christmas tree. And I decorated my Christmas tree with a bunch of buttons, and I had a little bit of doodling around the outside edge, and I made the base of the tree white with black polka dots. And for those double page lovers, I have a double page example as well. This one is a Disney layout that I made, and let's see if I can get it all totally in frame and get that glare gone. There we go. Okay, so this one I cut a large piece on this side, a large heart out. I backed it all with Disney colored ribbon, that famous red, yellow, black and white theme. And then on this side, I wanted to add more photos, so I cut two small hearts and did the same, backed them with some ribbon. So today I'm going to show you how I create these large shapes backed with ribbon, using up a ton of the ribbon in my collection, inventory, stash, whatever you want to call it. And today I'm going to use these pretty little colors to back a large star, because in this International Scrapbooking Day prompt idea challenge set from SG Scrap Squad, I will link their Facebook group below where you can find all of their challenges that are open until May 29th. And for this particular challenge, it says shape it up, showcase a large star. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to cut a large star into my page, and I'm going to back it with some ribbon, and I will show you how that works. So in this instance, I used just the shape feature on my Cricut. I picked a star, I put it onto my page, I centered it, I cut it out, and I'm going to back it on this black sheet. Now I don't always back it on black. Sometimes I'll just use a color of cardstock that I don't feel like I'm ever gonna make use of, or I use the sheets that come in your albums, like those white separation sheets or whatever you want to call them that come in the page protectors. I'll use one of those behind my cut file, because all I really need is, in this case I wanted it to be framed, but as you can see on my other layouts, nothing was framed. It was just backed onto a white piece from like the inside of a page protector. And so if you don't have a cutting machine, that's okay. You can still do this technique by cutting out there's tons of things in your household that are circle shaped. So if you wanted to trace a plate and cut out a plate and then back it with ribbon, cut out a circle from the shape of the plate and cut it with ribbon. If you wanted to find another large shape in your house, or if you find a shape on the internet or on your word processing documents, you can print that off as large as possible, trace it onto your paper on the back, and cut that out. So those are some ways you can do it if you don't have a cutting machine. Now in my case, I had a cutting machine. I cut the piece out, and I'm going to remove this, leaving the negative space behind, okay? Now with that negative space, I took a white pen because I'm going on to black cardstock, but normally I would just do it with pencil, and I traced my star shape. So I just went inside of this shape and I traced my star shape, okay, so that I can see it nice and clear. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ATG. You could use other adhesives if you want to. You could use double-sided tape or liquid glue, whatever you would normally adhere your ribbon with, that's fine. For me, I find that using just my ATG works just as well. It's faster, it's, in my opinion, it's faster, it's easier, it's sitting on my desk, and as long as it sticks, that's all that matters to me. And I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of it kind of in this section where I'm gonna start with with the longest area. So from these 2 points, I feel like is my longest area because I want my ribbon to kind of come across this way, the way the star is kind of tilted, okay? So I'm gonna start with my pink because in my mind, rainbow order goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue. And so pink is my red tone. And I'm just gonna run it. There's no right or wrong. I'm just gonna run it all the way across, okay? And then I'm gonna snip it off. And then I'm gonna take my orange ribbon and I'm gonna do the same, just butting it up underneath my pink ribbon. Okay, and the only thing you want to be careful about is to not leave gaps in between your ribbon colors. So then we'll go yellow next, red, orange, yellow. And I didn't really pick a green color, but I do have like a kind of aqua color that I'm going to use in that spot. And these are kind of summery colors. I still don't even know what photos I'm going to scrapbook yet. I have kind of an idea of what I might use, but... And then I am just remembering that I did run out of ribbon last time I did this, so I don't want to run out of a color. So I'm just going to try to get them a little bit closer to the edge of the star there, because none of the edges are going to show when I'm finished. And then I'm going to go with this aqua color, like I said. And when I roll my ribbon back up to put away, I just put a little glue dot on it to stick it down so that and then I just toss it out when I'm using it again, because I don't like it to like come off the roll, if you know what I'm saying. So that's kind of my tip and technique. Now this particular ribbon all came from the same pack. It was an American Crafts bundle that I got from a scrapbook store, and I looked online to see if I could find one to link it below, but I couldn't find one anywhere. I couldn't find it on Etsy, I couldn't find it on Amazon, so they must have all sold out. I did buy it like several years ago, maybe, I don't know, 2013 or something like that. Like, I've had it in my collection for a while, which is just one more reason it needs to get on a page. But look how beautiful it is. And you know what's so funny is when I bought this, I already knew that I wasn't really using ribbon on my pages anymore, and so I knew I didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? But I kept coming back to it and coming back to it. My friend and I were on a little like scrapbooking shopping road trip, and I kept coming back to it and coming back to it, and I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna think about it this much, I might as well take it home with me. So I did. And I've used plenty of it, don't get me wrong. I've definitely, the colors that I use most commonly are definitely gone. But some of the brighter colors like this that I don't use as much of, they have not lasted, or they have lasted quite a long time. So just finding ways to make beautiful pages out of them just makes me happy, and I think this is one. I'm sure that once I'm done with it, it'll make me happy just like the other ones. I forgot to mention too that this this layout, this Christmas tree layout, if you've seen it before. It might be because it was in Creative Scrapbooker magazine one year. And I don't remember what year, and I didn't think before this to go and find out. So, I don't know. But just in case it looks familiar, that's why. You may have seen it before. It's, the camera doesn't do it justice either. As you can imagine, like the texture and stuff, it just gives it such a beautiful look. And I don't know about you, but I like my paper and my, projects I like the texture to be interesting, and this definitely does that for me. So, I also wanted to mention that there's so many different ways to go about this. Like in this case, I feel like I can use a bunch of different colors because they all have the same pattern. Do you know what I mean? So it's not super overwhelming that the colors are different because they have the exact same pattern on every ribbon. It's just that tiny dot. It's not really like very in your face. And so I feel confident using a bunch of different colors in the same pattern. Now, when I made my Christmas tree and I was using not all the same pattern, it was important to me to stick to like a same color then, because then the pattern didn't stand out as much because everything was in a green color. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not, even though there's multiple patterns on here, you can still tell what the shape is, and there's no one ribbon that stands out too much because they're all a green color. So that's something to keep in mind when you try this. If you're going to use, for example, like multiple colors, maybe try using ribbons that are all, none of them have pattern, maybe. Or maybe they all have, maybe you have a collection like this that has all a similar pattern on it. I know Bo Bunny for a long time did a polka dot pattern. I'm looking at a couple of them right now. Let me see if I can quickly grab them. This is one of the ways that I store my ribbon in a cookie jar. So this is the Bo Bunny one I'm thinking of that has this like larger polka dot. So if you had a bunch of those, that would be super cute too. But just keep that in mind when if you're gonna try this, to just either keep it all in one pattern, and kind of like size is important too, right? So you don't want like giant polka dots and teeny tiny polka dots in multiple colors, because that might distract you from whatever story you're telling or what your photos are. Keeping in mind, of course, that our photos are really supposed to be the highlight of our pages. Although, I don't know, they're also a work of art, so if your layout stands out more than your photo, that's okay too. Some of us are just doing this for the creativity of it, right? Not everybody has a giant story to tell. Sometimes we just want to play with our fun things, papers and ribbons and fun stuff. Okay, so right now it kind of looks loosely like a star pattern, but not, right? Because it's like kind of all over the map. But once I'm finished and I put that top piece on, you will see that it is very much, it doesn't matter that it's kind of willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? But you have to make sure, like, see how I'm doing this little extra piece at the bottom? Because there's a tiny piece of that star showing, and I don't want there to be a black gap at the bottom of my star. So I am going to add more pink, even though it's just so tiny it doesn't look like it will matter. It will distract the eye if the pattern ends before the design starts. So now I'm going to do the same thing up the top of this star. I'm just going to put glue all over. You could use score tape too. I guess that's double-sided tape. I already said that, but that might be another way to adhere your ribbon down. And I hope you guys try this. And if you look in my Instagram feed, there is actually another layout that I did in this way, but I don't have it with me because it's in my grandson's album and it's not here. But it was cute too. It was another one that was a circle. So if you don't have a cutting machine, you might want to go have a look at that. And then I'll link to my Instagram page below as well. There's lots of ideas on there too. I just love these colors. I'm so glad I picked them. I honestly was like looking for the rolls that had the most ribbon on them. So that's funny that they just look so pretty together. I did take one out because it was brown and I felt like it just didn't fit with what I was trying to do here. So that's important to think about too. Whatever your goal is. But I think this will be a nice way to showcase a large element on your page. So like that prompt said, large star, well, will definitely be a showcase piece. And I'm just trying to think of what photo I want to put on here, and I'm thinking it might be one that my daughter-in-law sent me the other day of my granddaughter. She had put sunglasses on her while they were outside because the sun was super bright and she didn't want the sun in her eyes, and she apparently wasn't super happy about it, but she looks so diva like in that, so that might be a good photo to use on here. Gotta get some more of those little girl pictures scrapbooked. I think that part of the problem is that I did a bunch of batch printing before she was born, and so I have all these photos kind of sitting on my desk already, and so that's what I draw from. But I did get myself that Epson Picture Mate, so I should be making use of it, right? And again with the tiny bit of pink just to make sure that that end is not giving me grief. Now that my entire traced star is covered up with lines and strips of ribbon, I can go to the next step, which is to take the the star that I promise will match up once I find which way it goes, and I put a small thin foam tape around the shape just to give it a little bit of pop around the shape. You don't have to do that. My other layouts that I just showed you didn't have that, but we did this in a class at Crop and Create where we did a circle with the same kind of idea. It was like backing the circle, but instead of ribbon we used scraps of paper and popped it up around the shape, and I really liked the effect. So I'm going to try it this time with the ribbon, and hopefully I like that too. And I'm going to just put ATG around the outside edge so that it'll stick. And I should have paid attention to where I was laying my sheet down because there's adhesive there. Oops. Oops, oops. Okay. I'm gonna have to stand up for this part. Patience with me. Thank you for your patience with me, I think is what I was trying to say there. Please have patience with me. I'll figure out what I'm doing. I just want the edges to line up with, see, this is why I didn't do a border before. It's going to be fussy. And I want the border to line up as well as the shape to line up. So see there how that little bit of pink shows? Not so much this one, but certainly that one did. That one too, like, and especially because it's popped up, I notice it more as I look at an angle to it. And then I'm just gonna take some glue off the edges. And there we go, we have a beautiful large star to showcase on our layout. So I will complete a layout later. I have to go to work right now, but I will complete a layout later and add still shots of that layout to the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and if you have any great ideas that you come up with and make a page, I would love to see it, so please let me know in the comments where I can find you. If you want to know more about the things we talked about in this video, like where to find the challenges and where to find, I guess you can't find this ribbon anymore, but yeah, where to find those challenges, you can hit that show more button under the video description to find out where the links are. And if you have any questions or comments, or you make a layout with this idea, I would really love to hear about it, so please leave a comment. And it would be very much appreciated if you'd click that like button down below, give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos here at Paper Roots Scrapbooking, please click the subscribe button and be sure to hit that notification bell so you will know when a new video goes up. Thanks for watching.